Hello, greetings everybody. What's up? I just watched Stree. And I have a question for you before we get started. I'm going to have a question for you as we begin, and I'm going to have a question for you at the end. Here's my first question. If Stree was to get in a fight with Bootnot, who wins? Who wins that fight? Okay, so this film, Stree, they called it a horror comedy, but I had a couple times where I was startled. I wouldn't really call it a horror film. It's a comedy, and it's a pretty funny comedy. And one of the things that I've noticed, because I've said this from day one, the more you watch, the more you know. The more you see, the more you know. I have been getting engrossed in Ramayana. I'm getting ready to start Mahabharat. I am diving into all things India. We react not just to movie trailers, we react to the politics. I am getting a pulse of India. I think I'm starting to understand Indians, and I found this film, I laughed uncontrollably several times through this film because I was catching little subtleties that I never did before. Little references. So we have this film, and we have this film kind of start off with a town, and we see our leading man here, who is, he goes for a morning jog, and you see him going through the small village jogging, and first of all, nobody is out. Like, India is filled with 1 billion people. I find it hard to believe that there's only like 2 old dudes smoking weed and a guy selling fruits and vegetables, and that's it, right? But he goes for his morning jog, and he sees an old man who is painting this red lettering on the walls, and he is doing that meticulously. And it says something, and I have no idea what it says because, of course, I don't read Hindi yet. I don't read it, and our leading man rolls up to him and says, "Old timer, what are you doing, dude? We're the new generation. We don't believe your stupid horror story. Get out of here." And he's like, no, you don't understand. The festival is coming. The Stree is coming. This is the only thing that will protect people. This is a very special paint. It is made by, I don't know what, a white crow or a white something mixed with the pee of, I have no idea what it was. And this is the thing. And as they're having this exchange, the women who are now trying to, they're starting to wake up and start their day, and they're outside their homes cleaning, say, hey, make sure, hey, I'll pay extra. I want an extra bowl. I want an extra this. So that's kind of this festival is coming. There's a lore to this festival, and our leading man thinks it's ridiculous. Bose thinks it's ridiculous. And he's not really playing into it. So what we find out about him is that he is the son of a single father, and the single father owns a kind of a alteration shop, and his son is there. Raj Kumar, his son, is there, and he is gifted at this. He's gifted at doing it, but he really doesn't want to do it. He's like, this is kind of stupid. I'm a young dude. I'm gonna go do something fun. This is stupid. But he's very gifted at making these dresses. And so we see his life as people are getting ready for this festival. We're introduced to his 2 buddies, who of course are losers, in a comedic sense, and they add a lot of levity to the situation because they're, kind of like that. And there's an introduction of a mysterious woman, right? This mysterious woman, and let me just look at what her name was. She was Kapoor, I think, right? Was that Kapoor? Because Raj Kumar is the dude, and I think she was Shraddhi Kapoor. I think she's in that new movie with the actor who played Dhoni, where it's like a kind of a pro-Pakistani film, where she's a Hindi girl who's rescued by a Muslim dude who's Pakistani, and the love interest kind of ensues. I think that's the same actress. And she kind of shows up, and he is smitten by her, dude. It is like he can't talk right. It almost appears as she has a magical spell on this guy. And so the story starts to unfold about the Stree, that during the festival she shows up for 3 days, and she kidnaps men if they're out by themselves, if they're not under the protection of this lettering on their homes. She kidnaps them, and she just leaves behind a pile of clothes and takes these naked dudes somewhere else. I don't know what the deal is. and we're kind of left with that because most of the town believes in it. The young dudes are like, this is kind of stupid, but it's still a little creepy. They start, getting hearing the stories. And there's a guy, and I forgot his name. I believe he was the butcher in Gangs of Wesipor, and I believe he was an MS Dhoni and worked in the train station. I think that was him. He was in it, and he plays this kind of uncular towns guy who owns a library and has all these degrees and is always drinking. He was phenomenal. His acting was phenomenal. He just killed me with all his stuff, just like, he would hold court in the town square because he's like the smartest dude and he's not really answering anything. He's just talking his way around. It was so funny. So the Stree shows up and she snatches somebody. And everybody's kind of, ooh, but Raj Kumar says, this is BS, dude. The guy got drunk and wandered off. This is stupid, stupidest thing. And he goes to a party, and they're having a party, and they hire what I guess would be their equivalent of a stripper. But she doesn't really strip, but she's there doing a suggestive dance. And it turns into this all-dude party. And it's just watching everybody just go crazy and dancing. The music was great. The dancing was great. They're having a great time. And one of their buddies at the party, somebody's at the door. Open the door, and they're like, there's this fat girl standing out. He's like, oh, that's my girlfriend. Oh, come on in. This is my girlfriend. And they go upstairs, and they're going to make the love, right? And she says, do you have protection? He's like, protection? What do you mean? Oh. So he's downstairs trying to find protection, trying to find a condom, trying to find something that he can use. And he gets something, and while he's out doing that, Raj Kumar, highly intoxicated, has to pee, who hasn't been there, goes outside to pee, starts peeing, and he stops in midstream, and he moves over, and he starts peeing somewhere else. What we don't realize at the time is he's peeing on the lettering on the wall that says for the Stree to come back tomorrow, I think. Come back tomorrow. And because he did that, it takes the protection of the house off, and the Stree comes in, snatches that dude, and out he goes through the window. And everybody's freaking out because now the young dudes who are trying to ignore the legitimacy of this are freaked out because this is really freaky. And then we see the young lady who's showing the town. She's having these odd interactions with Raj Kumar. Odd interactions. She wants a dress made. She won't go into the temple for sacrifices. She won't tell her name. She's asking him to get her weird things, like a lizard's tail, eye of newt, this kind of stuff. And one of his buddies is like, she's the witch, dude. She's the witch. She takes him out in the middle of nowhere and just disappears. And he's like, mm-hmm. And he sees off in the distance this, it looked like a castle or some kind of ruins. And he's starting to wonder if she's the witch, but he also thinks she's hot and doesn't want to back away from it. So they have this conversation where he sits her down and says, listen, this doesn't matter. I can be emotionally prepared when I find this out. Are you the Stree? And she looks at him. She doesn't deny it. She doesn't say anything. She looks at him. And then he thinks she must be a ghost. So we see in the shot, there's like, was he a bum maybe smoking weed? Goes over and says, "Uncle, is there a woman behind me?" And he's like, "No." There she's gone. So he's convinced she's the Stree. And they finally have this conversation where she says, "No, I lost my husband to her, and I've been studying black magic and all this stuff, and I'm here to kill her. Right? I'm here to kill her." Oh, okay, so this is like supernatural. You're a hunter. You're not a witch. You're a hunter. Oh, okay, so they all form together, and we have one of the buddies gets turned by the Stree, gets one of the buddies, but lets him go, and this guy becomes kind of this barometer when the Stree's around, because when the Stree comes by, he turns crazy, but he's there to be the eyes and ears for the witch, right? But they get this team together, and it's, it's Raj Kumar, his buddy, the butcher from Gangs of Wesipor, this witch, or this woman, I should say, and they're going after the witch. And they come up with all these different things, and they start realizing, after they talk to a elder who wrote a history book about this area, she was a courtesan, which is a prostitute, and she gave it up because she fell in love with one guy, and all the dudes in this village couldn't stand it because they all wanted her. And so on their wedding night, they came in and killed both of them. And what she's doing is she's looking for her true love. And that's why she shows up, because she wants her wedding night. She wants her wedding night. You know what I'm saying? The wedding night. You guys follow me? The wedding night. She wants the wedding night. And so they find out that there's a protector of the city, right? So they're going to have a protector of the city, and this protector of the city is, you know, what did they say? He was a son of a courtesan, has a big nose, wheatish color skin, is a bachelor who treats himself as a king. And as they're sitting there, everybody starts looking at Raj Kumar. He's like, what? We think that's you. He's like, that's ridiculous. They're like, well, you are a bachelor. So are you. But you treat yourself like a king. He's like, what? No, I don't. He's like, I don't have a big nose. Do I have a big nose? I don't have a big nose. And besides, my mom wasn't. Oh, you don't know about your mom? What? Dude, that was hilarious. What? I mean, when the butcher of the gangs of Wasapur says to Raj Kumar, you don't know your mom was a whore? How quickly Raj Kumar stood up and went for the backhand, and this dude went rolling backwards to get away from it. It was impressive. Like, it was like instantaneously. I laughed so hard. I fell out of my chair when I saw that, right? So they cook up this idea. She wants love. Raj Kumar, let's give it to her, dude. Let's give it to her, baby. So they go after. They're going to go after the witch. And the witch gets him and takes him to, they set up in her house the bridal chamber, and the witch has him and isn't sure what to do with him. So he's like, what do I do? Do I get ready to make love to her? So he starts taking off, and the witch starts screaming. He puts his clothes on, the witch starts screaming. He's not sure. And then the other woman comes in and knocks her out. It has some kind of spell powder, throws it on her, and the witch is out. And she tells Raj Kapoor, here's the magic knife, you got to stab her. And Raj Kapoor says, I can't, but why? I can't do that. Listen, there's got to be another way. What has she really done to look what we did to her. And I'm going to do this again? I can't do this. She said, fine, cut off her ponytail, cut off the braid, and it'll take her power away. She'll still be alive. She'll still live. She won't be dead. But she won't have any power. So he does it, and we notice something very weird with the ponytail, the braid. It's like that. It's like it's doing this weird glowing stuff. And the action scene happens. They cut it off, and the woman takes the braid. So we see her now leaving town, and Raj Kapoor's in love with her, and he wants her to stay, and she can't. She's got to go, and she's very mystic and encrypted about the whole thing. And we see she gets on the bus, and the bus starts to drive away. She takes the braid out, and it's doing the woo. She takes that braid and she puts it to her hair. All of a sudden it melds in, and she disappears. She disappears, dude. And I was like, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? This movie was super funny. I love this movie. I gotta talk about the ending though, and I need your help, right? What the hell was that? Is she the witch? Is she another witch? Was she a witch all the time who was just coming to get the witch's power so she could be a stronger witch? I have no idea what the hell just happened there. I had none. I was just like, this was almost a Bollywood Top 100, but I couldn't get by the ending. I don't know what to do with this thing. What do I do with this? What is she? Please tell me. Please, please tell me. I'll catch you guys later. Peace and much love. Make sure you like and subscribe, please. Or the beaver will scream.